Hello friend, welcome again to Zuzucorn's Expert Summoner Progression Guide, where I offer you a recommended boss and gear progression so that you can have a smooth experience of your own. I'm Zuzucorn and I aim to entertain you, encourage you and offer you a place to call home, so subscribe now and join the Zuzucorn family. Previously, we took down the remaining 2 mechanical bosses and painfully farmed hours for the Sanguine Staff, one of the most reliable summons in the game. Today, we'll be taking down Plantera and Golem, and start our preparation for the Empress of Light. Let's begin with taking down Plantera. With all 3 mechanical bosses defeated, Plantera bulbs will now spawn in the jungle. They are pink in colour and emit a glow, so they're quite easy to spot. However, they're uncommon, so it's pretty annoying to find one. I managed to find a Plantera bulb near here, so I'm using sticky dynamite to blow up a large area here. Plantera requires a large arena for an easy and comfortable time. Just make sure you clean up a little. You can't blow up hard mode ores like cobalt and chlorophyte. All you need for the arena are a few platforms that are well spaced out. Of course, set up campfires, a few heart lanterns, and some sunflowers as well. Jungle enemy spawns are really annoying, so the fewer the better. Once you're ready, buff up and break the Plantera bulb. Plantera is a pretty straightforward fight. We'll be using the Sanguine Staff, but if you didn't want to go for it, you can also use the spiders as well. All you have to do for the first phase is to circle around Plantera. Just take note of the thorns that she shoots at you, along with the occasional spiky balls. With the Sanguine Staff, we can stay far away from her and still deal pretty good damage. That's the good thing about this summon, it's reliable and has crazy range. I think Plantera's gonna transform into a second phase soon. Yeah, her second phase is still pretty simple if you have a large enough arena. The main problem now is that she's much faster and there are lots of tentacles. In Expert Mode, even her hooks, which she uses to move around, have their own tentacles. This makes it a little harder to move around. Honestly, it's easy enough if you weave through the tentacles. The only damaging areas are Plantera herself, her hooks, and the tentacle heads, so the stems are actually pretty safe. Well, that's about it. We're almost done. Pretty simple and straightforward. Surprisingly, much smoother than I imagined. Ooh, we've got the Pygmy Staff. That's nice. The Pygmy Staff is a summon weapon obtained from Plantera, but honestly, it's not very good. It summons pygmies who throw spears pretty rapidly. But look at this. They are just trying to hit a jungle bat and clearly they are not doing a good job. So yeah, the pygmies are actually horrible against airborne enemies, but they're good enough against Golem if you want to. Either way, spiders are fine as well. Golem is just pretty simple overall. With Plantera defeated, the Empress of Light is unlocked and can now be fought. I don't think I can take her down with my subpar mechanics, but I might give it a try later. You can also now buy the Tiki armor from the Witch Doctor, and that allows you to have a lot more minions. Hollowed armor is still good for some bosses though, due to the Shadow Dodge or Holy Protection effect. I want to take some time to farm some Truffle worms as well. With the newly revamped mushroom biomes, getting Truffle worms are much easier now. Mushroom biomes are now filled with flats areas, meaning it's a lot easier for Truffle worms to spawn and a lot easier for you to catch them. With a lifeform analyzer and pretty sharp eyes, getting some won't be an issue anymore. I'll take some time to catch some Prismatic Lacewings as well, which spawn in the hollow from dusk to midnight, only after Plantera is defeated though. So this is all just preparation. Duke Fishron and the Empress of Light is gonna take many attempts, so we might as well accumulate some of their summoning critters. With Plantera defeated, the dungeon has new enemies and new loot. There's really a crazy amount of new things, but all we want is ectoplasm and drops from the Bone Lee. I originally wanted to get the desert biome key, but it's probably not worth it, especially for our upcoming challenges like the Empress of Light and Duke Fishron. Ectoplasm is dropped from dungeon spirits, which have a chance to spawn when enemies are killed. It is used for the Pumpkin Moon, a pretty important event for summoners. I'm mostly after the Master Ninja gear, which requires the Tabi and the Black Belt from Bone Lee. an enemy that spawns in all zones of the dungeon. Just be careful of the special enemies, for example the Paladin, who is really tough and deals high damage. It drops some pretty good stuff for melee characters though. I've already managed to get a Tabi, so now all we need is a black belt. Oh nice, there it is. I guess we're about done here. Using shoe spikes and climbing claws, make the tiger climbing gear. Then combine that with the Tabi and the black belt to make Master Ninja gear. This accessory allows you to avoid attacks and also gives you a dash that is longer distance than the Shield of Cthulhu. Of course, replacing the shield means that you can't use the iframes from the shield anymore, so the shield is still better in some cases. I managed to get the menacing reforge on this, so that's nice. I've attempted Duke Fishron a little, and although the first two phases are okay, the third one seems to be a problem. Our bats aren't really hitting him enough during that phase, and I can survive for about 25 seconds max because I'm not that good, and that still isn't enough for our bats to take him down. I think I'll go for the Xeno Staff for Duke Fishron. It might be better. I'll go through how to beat him after we get that. I've also attempted the Empress of Light a little, and I can't really get past the second phase for now. I'll challenge her again some other time. So let's take down Golem, which is pretty simple with the Sanguine Staff or Pygmy Staff. The jungle temple is riddled with traps, so a wire cutter is a must. Simply navigate the temple room by room and break whatever circuits you see. Holding the wire cutter reveals the trap circuits, so just butcher them anyhow with Smartcast. Remember to loot the solar tablet fragments and the lizard power cells as well. In Golem's chamber, make sure you deactivate all the traps in there. You don't want to be bothered during the fight. I recommend sealing off the rest of the temple as well, to block off temple enemies. Remove the wooden spikes as well, they're pretty annoying. Golem's arena is pretty simple. All you need is a high platform and it'll be good enough. Let's buff up and summon him. All you have to do is stay up here and let your summons do the work. Just avoid the flaming balls that he shoots once in a while. It's a pretty chill fight actually. When you're up here, he can't jump to you. The bats also protect you from the fists. I'll be getting rid of them cause why not? The only other threat is the lasers, but if you run back and forth to top here, you can actually avoid most of it. Not to say that you won't get hit, but it's probably okay. Even when the head detaches, the bats will make quick work of the body. There, easy. There's nothing much I want from the bag. The Pixel would be nice, but well, no luck here. You know, they said that Golem changed, but I don't really know what changed. Feels pretty much the same to me. Well, the main thing is for us to beat him so that we can get the Martian Invasion. Okay, nice. Our second Golem gave us the Pixel. We can now mine jungle temple bricks and traps. Not really important in our playthrough, but still alright. Using the solar tablet or the solar tablet fragments from the temple, we can summon a solar eclipse. After Plantera is defeated, many new enemies will spawn, and you can get the new drops as well. However, what we're after is the Deadly Sphere stuff, which drops from, you guessed it, the Deadly Spheres. These are an uncommon enemy, so just go for everyone that you see and cross your fingers. Nice! That took about half an in-game day. That's pretty lucky. So this is a high damage summon that's pretty good for crowds of enemies, but the AI isn't too good. It gets stuck on walls pretty often. With that, we can build our Martian Invasion farm. It's similar to our old design, with a lava trap in the middle, and the top layer actuated to make sure you won't fall in. The main difference is that now we will need a long passage here to avoid the laser. I'll show you how to use it later. With a water candle in the space layer, it won't take long for a Martian probe to spawn. Let it detect you and escape. Then hurry back home and teleport into our corridor here. While the invasion is in its beginning phase, you can turn the top layer off to let the Martians die in the lava. It's a good idea to use the Deadly Spheres to slowly progress the invasion as well. They're pretty good for this. The Martian Saucer only spawns after 30%, so just take care till then. Ah, there, the thing of the hour. Once the saucer is spawned, turn on the blocks. That will protect us from all the attacks other than the laser. summon your deadly spheres onto the saucer. You have to resummon them often because their AI isn't very good, so when they get stuck, cancel the buffs and summon them again. The saucer does its attacks in a similar pattern. After it shoots rockets at you, it will fly to the side opposite from you and start its laser from there. So just move along your corridor to dodge it. It's pretty simple. It might take a while for you to get used to it, but hey, it works. Can you call this cheesing? Probably, but it's cheesing that actually uses your brain. With all 4 cannons gone, the saucer will start using rapid laser attacks. Dodging this is actually pretty easy. Make sure you have a dash and just dash in the opposite direction after one laser to run away from the next. Cheesing at its finest. Once you get the hang of it, you won't die, but it's also very hard to kill the saucer. The summon's AI isn't good, so the fastest way to do it would be to resummon your sphere over and over again. This guarantees a hit on the saucer, so doing this is more of a patience test. It takes a really long time for this part, but there, definitely doable. Alternatively, you could use a Hook of Dissonance or wire some teleporters. Well, we're not getting any luck with the Xeno Staff though. It's been quite some time, and I still haven't got it yet. This is probably my 5th or 6th invasion already, and considering how long it takes to beat one saucer, you can only imagine the time that I've spent. Hello, that took a while. The Xeno Staff is good because it never misses an attack. However, its range is definitely a lot more limited compared to the Sanguine Staff. But it might help us out for Duke Fishron. Well, next time we can finally take down Duke Fishron and start challenging the Empress of Light for the Terra Prisma. It's going to be a nightmare and it's gonna take lots of attempts. But well, look forward to that. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon too, so you won't miss the next episode of our Expert Summoner Progression Guide. This has been Zuzucorn Games. Have a nice day, and have a great week ahead. Bye bye!